Hello to everybody and welcome to the second evening with the authors, the 17th edition of Animateka International Animated Film Festival online edition. We are live from the Animateka studio in snowy Šiška, Ljubljana, Slovenia, and we are ready to talk with the group of European young talents. I'm Igor and
hi, Anna.
And we are the selectors and programmers of the competition, European Young Talents competition program. It's my pleasure tonight to have with us Jelizaveta Pismak, director of the film My Fat Ass and I, that we screened actually in the first program. So Jelizaveta, hello.
Hello.
With us also Lucas Londoño-Clayton, one of the authors of the film Florian from Spain. Hello. Also with us, Miljana Tešović with the film The Bond, joining from Belgrade, Serbia. Júlia Lerch with the film Nits from Hungary. Hello, Júlia. Luna Rosato with the film Circa 8 kg, about 8 kilos from Torino, Italy. And last but not least, no, that's it. It's the complete group. And actually, we have Maria Savaleva, I didn't mention, if I'm not wrong, yes. Maria Savaleva with the film You Are Not a Kiwi, that will be joined also with the sound designer Bruno, Quast. And we are starting with Jelizaveta Pismak. You are the first one.
Hello.
To answer our question. Hello, hi. Where are you, Jelizaveta, in this time? Are you in Łódź?
Yeah. I'm in Łódź, which is not snowy, opposed to Miljana. I'm at home in Łódź.
Okay, let's start this. Your film was presented in the Cannes Cine Fondation official program. It's a selection of films from film schools that's presented as a side program of the Cannes Film Festival. How did this prestigious premiere affected the distribution life of your film, and what did it mean for you? Were you there as well?
Yeah, I was there as well. And I mean, because of Corona and stuff, it's kind of frozen. I mean, even though the festival took place like normally, and even though it was presented there and it got the second prize, actually, I kind of can't define yet the effect that it had, unfortunately, because just everything is so frozen that everything is just... I don't know. This is the first film that I presented ever, so I'm not sure how it should normally go. So I'm just receiving the information and it's just like, yeah, react to that.
Okay, but it's a nice thing to have a premiere at such a prestigious.
Yeah, sure. It was also very cool because of the limitations. We had a chance to see our films on the big screen, because usually they screen the films in the smaller movie theaters, and because we had such restrictions, they actually made everything in this palais. So it was a nice bonus.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's really nice. The film kind of plays out as this surreal and grotesque comedy. Why did you choose this tone to address the topic of body positivity?
Because this is my lane. I mean, the topic of body positivity wasn't the main subject. It was mostly that it was connected to me, and I felt like a deep urge to kind of devour it my way. Like, I have a problem that I have to deal with, but I don't like any other way that I see that it's not talking to me. So I just decided to kind of try it, to process it my way, for me to get to handle it. And because surreal thing and this kind of dissociated humor is kind of my lane, that's why I just decided to do it my way.
Mm. Where did the inspiration for this Slim Butlandia and Butt Angels came from? Like the whole world building and the whole this creation is really quite something extraordinary.
Actually, it came. I mean, the biggest inspiration I think was movie The Wall by Pink Floyd. I mean, to the opera Pink Floyd, because I remember I was watching that. I wasn't really understanding that at the time that it affected it so much. But I think the last song in there, I mean, almost the last, the trial, when he's like the main character of the film is behind the wall and everything is attacking him, basically, like all of his peers. Kind of, I think something in that lane. That was the main inspiration for that.
Okay, as Anna already said, your visual style is, if I can call it, grotesque, but also I found some underground comics reference in the way how you are drawing. So I'm interested to know more if is there a potential influence you have for developing this drawing style of yours?
More, I'd say I never been a big fan of comics. I just like the form of comics because it has such a defined form that you can use it to present some ideas like the way you want it, the way you want to present them. But I think that the thing that mostly from the pop culture influenced me was anime, and but as for the style of drawing, I think it would be more Paul Klee or something like that. I mean, it's just that I do that the the not so profound way as Paul Klee does. But I mean, and children's drawings, yeah, children's drawing also.
Mm-hmm. Children's
Drawings.
Okay. Actually, the film is made in 2D computer animation technique, but are you drawing as well? Do you have a sketchbook? Are you doodling?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I have a lot of sketchbooks at home, and I have like the one that I really like, and it was with me when I was traveling through like 7 countries or something like that, and from every country there is a drawing in there. And actually now I think that I'm not going to make a movie on the computer. I'm making a movie on the glass, like, you know, on the layered glass or something. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of using, and I think I used another technique every year that we were making a film in the school. So yeah, it's just this one was the computer one.
Okay, I forgot at the beginning to mention your biography shortly. So it's like you're a Polish-Ukrainian filmmaker and animator born in Chernihiv, Ukraine, mm-hmm. and you started in 2015 in the school, the National Polish National Film School in Łódź, and you actually are in animation and special effects department. And actually, this is your diploma film, right?
No. It was my 3rd year film. It's just that now I'm on my year of diploma, but I was polishing this film for too long. So now I'm having my 3rd year film to present everywhere.
Okay, last question, also dealing with the school in a way. Your mentors were the most known Piotr Dumawa and Piotr Milcharek. Mm-hmm. I would like to know how much they interfere in your story and in the process of production. Maybe you can explain how does the process of making a diploma or a film goes at your school?
Actually, I don't think that they had a room to interfere. I really wanted to use this possibility, to communicate, but I think that I was just so late with this film, so late. But the thing that I really loved with working with Professor Dumala and Piotr Milcharek was that they know where to give freedom. When they know that there is just something that should unfold, they would just let you do your thing. And when they see a potential fall point, like something that is too predictable or something that is too cheesy in a way, or something, they will tell you. And also they are very good in setting the structure for a film. I really loved working with them, and I'm making another film also with them. This year film also with them. So I'm really happy with with the process of work in there.
Okay, great. Maybe for the end, the title, My Fat Ass and I, it was there from the beginning, or you invented it? Yeah.
It was there for the beginning. I think that the edginess and the rage that went into the title just like unfolded during the film. It was the thing that was keeping it going, because there were so many points when this film could just like, I won't finish it. I won't finish it ever, because it was so hard to do it for 3 years. But because of the name was so funny, there was so many situations where we were just like 3 a.m. in the sound studio, like just we can't do that anymore. And then suddenly the pun with the us comes again, and everybody started laughing. Like, yeah, okay, we're gonna finish that.
Okay, thank you, Elizaveta. Hopefully we come back because I would like to know something more also about what's going on in Ukraine with the animation there. It's not so much we know about Igor Kovalyov, but then not so much about. Let's hope we have a chance to speak about this at the end. So we are moving forward. We go to Maria Savaleva, the author of the film You Are Not a Kiwi. So this time I will read first the biography. Maria Savaleva was born in St. Petersburg in 1993 after studying graphic illustration at the St. Petersburg Stiglitz State Academy of Art and Design. She got the second degree at the Estonian Academy of Arts Animation in 2020. So I guess this is a diploma film for you?
Yeah.
It is. Okay. Your film, it's a beautiful drawn reinterpretation of the Andersen Ugly Duckling fairy tale, I would say. Can we take it as also as a criticism of intolerance in human society?
I didn't want to make a film about criticizing. I didn't want to criticize somebody. I just shown the situation as I feel it, like in general about society, about humans' nature, like how we behave. It's not bad, it's not good. Just everybody can decide by her or himself. And yeah, I mean, you just can watch the situation from like two sides. There is no strictly bad hero or good hero, because as we see, there is a victim in the film, like this green dyed bird, and actually nobody cares about her. I mean, we don't have this feeling for her because we are following the main character at first. So I don't know if I explained really.
But Andersen Ugly Duckling was a reference for you?
Not really, but indeed, this story is very close. Yeah, but yeah, Anderson has a bit different aim and scenario, like idea.
I really like the visuals. They are quite delicate. It's mostly this black and white with some colors of green and red. You used watercolor on paper. Why did you choose this technique? And could you maybe tell us a bit more on the overall visual style and the process of making the film?
Yeah, I actually even have a frame to show. This is original frame, like watercolor on paper. I was drawing it and afterwards scanned it. I came to that style during the time. First, I had some pencil sketches. Then, after I had I did sketches with marker. Then I tried to do this film digitally. But at the end, I just came to that simple, classical, a bit old school style. I think it's suitable here, and I wanted to make it this craftsy, and I wanted to save the handwriting, this to be unique. Yeah.
Maria, where does your fascination with kiwis came from, with those New Zealand special birds type?
Kiwi at Estonian language means a stone, but to be honest, I like the shape. It's just nice to draw this shape, just a ball. I don't know. And also you can show some emotions just changing this shape, and you can't, for example, draw a smile or groom a face. You have just a
Beak.
beak.
The big.
Yeah, and that's it. So I wanted to play with movements, with music also, and situations. I think, yeah. I never saw actually Kiwi in live. Probably I need to do it once.
I guess the next question is for both of you. I was actually wondering if you like actually used sound of kiwis, or did you totally improvise with the sound? And if you did improvise, what did you use? So just tell us a bit more about the sound in your film.
Yeah, probably I will start
Okay.
and Bruno will continue because I was watching many GIFs, videos, how kiwi birds are running, how they jumping, and they are like very funny animals. It's something in between a mouse and a bird, and also they're making really funny voices. Like, and I wanted to make this kind of weird scene when the bird will sing, like, I don't know, very weird way. So I think Bruno like did this very great way. So he probably can tell about that more.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I did do some research on Kiwi sounds, but then for the specific needs of the film, it was very hard to put a library together where you have actual Kiwi sounds that all sound the same and have the same quality, the same atmosphere to it, etc. So I thought the easiest way to do it is just to take my microphone and go and put some effects in it. And the film was finished, basically. So yeah.
Okay, so maybe a last question. Your mentors in your case were very well known world famous animators, Brit and Olga Pern, that are also they're still teaching, right, at the Estonian Art Academy.
Yeah,
And
not now. Like actually, they stopped teaching at EKA. Now they have some classes in Tartu University, but I know that we are kind of the last lucky students of Prit and Olga Parn, and it's I think a big luck for us. Like
okay,
for
but
our group.
then it's a special occasion that you, as the last generation of their students, you should tell us how is it to work with them. How much were they interfering with your ideas and animation process?
Mm-hmm. Prit Parn has a special system to like give his knowledges to students. Like first year of our like in our school in EKA, we had many tasks, but they were really interesting. Like we had special structure to create a story. We had many practice and we had to work in the groups much. And about the film, I had some consultations, and every time it was really helpful. Like I had this talk with Pritan, and he somehow just bringing me to the necessary point, and like I don't know, he helping through the dialogue, just you starting to understand yourself better while you talk with him. Yeah, he's like psychologist.
Psychologist.
Yeah,
Technologies,
something
yeah.
like this. Yeah, because yeah, understood much about myself also. You know, like there is a saying like every artist drawing him or herself, like in any painting or drawing. So I don't know. Now I'm searching a million why kiwi bird and just wildest thing, but yeah, I don't know.
But I'm sure that for Prit and Olga also it was very important that you were working in an analog way, so like with the traditional way of animation, because they are really keen on that, especially Olga also with sand animation
Mhm.
and other stuff. So okay, Maria, for you, what's next now that you are finished with the school? You will stay in Estonia. You have professional projects already in the making, in the wrapping.
Actually, I just came from Czech Republic. I had a traineeship there at Krutart Studio in Prague, and now I'm like planning to go to Germany also to work, but we'll see. And also making my own projects and like video clips and different things. And soon, like it's gonna be a new series about Christmas, Corona crisis, like short satirical like cartoons. Yeah, so I'm keep going, and I like animation, and yeah, my plan is to continue drawing and making films.
Okay, maybe the last one for Bruno as well, as he's there joining. Is it easy to make a living as a sound designer, musician in Estonia with the film industry there?
I'm definitely making more money with sound than animation. I mean, I'm an animator myself also, studying with Pete Penn in the same school. But yeah, it's easier here because the circle is so small that you get to know all those who need sound design very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not many doing it. So yeah, it's a good place.
Okay. Actually, yesterday at the discussion with the students there, actually we find out, or there was a maxima going on, that sound is equally important as the visual part of the film is, and that's, I think that Maria understood it, and she was lucky to work with you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we go to the film Florian. And actually, Florian was made by a diverse and multicultural team from around the world, namely from India, United Kingdom, Russia, and Venezuela. They made the film as their graduation project as part of the Masters in Stop Motion Animation at BAU Design College of Barcelona. With us, Lucas Londoño-Clayton. So, Lucas, I guess you are from Venezuela?
No, I'm from the UK.
You are from?
I'm from United Kingdom, but my wife is Colombian, so I have a kind of Spanish-sounding name.
Okay. Can you please explain a little bit more about your school and the study of animated film there, as it's not very known yet, I would say, in Europe, in the
Sure. BAU is quite a small school. I think it's about 1,000 students in general. And there's about 600 or 700 undergraduate and about 300 postgraduate and master's students, I think. And it's mainly a design school. They do like graphic design, illustration, fashion, these kind of topics. And they also do audiovisual topics, like they do film and they do stop motion as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, it's in the international school. That's also a thing that is important, probably multicultural.
Yeah. Actually, our course was run in English. Most of the courses are run in Spanish, but they wanted to attract students from international students like myself to come to the course. So yeah.
Okay.
Many international students.
Can you explain a little bit more about this collective process in the creation of your film? How have you divided the tasks, like script, puppet design, scenography, camera animation?
So we decided to kind of share credit for the film at the beginning, so that everyone kind of had a chance to contribute to whichever part they wanted to. Of course, some of us were stronger in certain areas than others. For example, my area is more in writing and directing, because I come from a cinema background. I studied cinema in London, and some of us were stronger in animation or in set design or cinematography and so on. But honestly, working in a group of 4 and all sharing the credit, it's quite difficult. It's very rewarding when you sort of discover something that you all agree on, and you can really make a lot of progress very, very fast. But there are other times when there's some disagreement, and and it's something very important, especially in terms of script writing, where everybody wants to have their ideas into the story. It can be tricky for sure.
The basic idea for the film is quite simple yet very effective. So I was wondering, how did you come to it, and also how many flowers did you have to make for the film?
Ooh, yeah, so the idea, I mean, we started with the theme. I personally wanted to make a film about toxic masculinity and about male identity, and it was around this time that there was a lot of talk about it in the media, especially because of things like there was a commercial for Gillette, the razors, that was also about this topic, and I felt like it was something that was not really explored so much in animation. And then we, after we decided to explore this, we found images of men who had sort of put real flowers in their beards to kind of, I don't know how, I guess kind of accessorize themselves or as a sort of fashion choice. And we thought this was a very interesting image, like a powerful image, and something that we could use as a story. In terms of flowers, I don't know how many we made. I mean, we shot like there are a lot of close-ups that we had to shoot at a different scale. So we basically made 2 different sizes of flowers. The very big ones, which were about this big, and then the very small ones, which were maybe less than 1 centimeter. But the big ones, I think there were maybe 30 or 40, something like this.
I also really like there's a lot of really neat details in the film. When Florian gets out of bed, we see these flowers that stay on the pillow, and then there's this lovely teapot, towels in the bathroom, and so on, and also his beard kit. How long did it take you to work on these sets and making all these different elements of it?
I would say the pre-production and the construction and building everything was probably the longest part of the film. It was maybe 3 months, something like this. We had two sets, this bedroom and the bathroom, but then we also had 2 different scales as well. So yeah, but in terms of details, we storyboarded the entire film, and we made sure that there was always something new for the audience that wanted to look for it, that we were always kind of adding more elements to the story, so that the audience is not kind of getting settled in one place and they are understanding. We want to kind of make questions and let them ask, like, oh, why is that there? What does that mean? And so on and so on. I think these little details are kind of like small treasure. Like, if you want to find them, they are there, but they are not always like essential to the story either.
Lucas, the last question. Also for your film, you had very important masters as Caroline Leaf, Barry Purves, Abby Feijo, Tim Allen, and many others that are credited in the end credits as your mentors. Can you explain how much each of them have helped the project specifically? Because we know, for example, Barry Purves, he's a big master of stop motion animation. Caroline Leaf, she is not making stop motion, but she's a great master of direct filmmaking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was. So each of those, they were guest mentors. So each of them came for 1 week to the school, and they taught us for the whole week. And they explained their process and their influences, and they showed a lot of their work and how. And we had the option to sort of ask questions about how they achieved certain shots or their decision making when they were making certain films, and they also mentored us in specific animation techniques. For example, Abi Fejo was specifically about sand animation, and with Karen and Leaf it was specifically about paint on glass animation. And then Tim Allen came to do puppets, and Barry Purves also focused on puppets because those were their sort of areas of expertise. And then after this, we were kind of given the option of which technique that we wanted to use for our graduation films.
Mm-hmm. Great. Also, maybe just the last thing, the puppet design and technology is, I would say, professional, even though it doesn't look so. But I'm sure that you use professional like skeletons and material to build up the puppet.
Yeah, the skeleton is wire armature, just aluminium wire and epoxy putty, and layered with a lot of foam. And then the skin is, I think it's latex.
Yeah. Luckily, the film is short, so the puppet didn't break so much as like wire puppets could, right?
I think we had 4 arms and 4 legs, just in case one of the arms breaks, so you can replace the arm or something like this.
Okay, thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we go on. Maybe I think we will have like a last chance for last question for everybody. Okay, Miljana Tešović from Bor, Serbia, studied animation at the Faculty of Applied Arts in Belgrade. She participated in several group exhibitions, animation projects, and workshops. She also was volunteering at the Balkanima Animation Film Festival in Belgrade since 2018. The Bond is her graduation film. So my first question, can you tell us how much have you learned about quality autorial animated films being a volunteer at the Balkanima Festival? I'm not saying that you didn't learn at school with Professor Rastko and Iva Čirić, but just curious to understand how watching quality animated films affected your personal development as an animator.
Well, it did change a lot because I grew up with Cartoon Network and most of the commercial things like Disney, Pixar. And actually the first time I had a chance to really see animated, like autorial made films, festival films, was on a Balkanima festival. So yeah, when I saw it, it was like, you have that chance to actually make anything you want, to be the big creator of one world. And the things you can see on a festival, everything is very diverse, and I fell in love with the process. Also, I had the chance to meet some wonderful people, and it was fun. It was very, very fun. While I was volunteering there, it was a bit hard because you needed to run around. I also wanted to see the screenings. I was mostly caffeinated and I'm not that good on caffeine. I go wild on caffeine. So yeah, it was very fun. I don't know. Also, we had the history of animation on our faculty and it all rounded up.
Okay. Let's go to your film. The Bond is showing, in a way, a stereotypical view on a male-female relation, or even the impossibility of this of a couple relation. Why have you chosen this topic first?
I think that at this time, this is a serious problem because many people consider a relationship some sort of a goal. If you have somebody, that is some sort of a prestige.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are, especially when you go further in age, when you are older, most of them are willing to stay in a relationship that can be very toxic and not so good. Why? Because they want to be in a relationship, and that was the main thing. And that is the reason actually why the connection between the guy and the girl is golden, because that is their prize, their treasure, even though they actually hurt each other a lot because they cannot communicate the right way.
Mm-hmm.
For this relationship, you kind of are using some very well-known codifications, like pink for the girl, blue for the male. There's this football reference, helpless crying, and also some sexualized images of women. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you develop this whole visual style. What is the idea behind it?
I know I wanted it to be very stylized. Also, I thought about the world in which people are connected with a rope and the way that rope could be used as a weapon, some sort of. Also, I wanted a very limited palette, so I have yellow, blue, and pink, which is something like red. I wanted to also black and white. I know that I wanted a girl to be a warm color, because even though if you put aside those stereotypical thing that girls are pink and the boys are blue, she is much more reactive to the problems, and he is taking the more passive way. He gets very quiet, and he wants to deal with the problems, but not dealing with them. And yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean, your visuals are actually reminded me of some like classical animations. Did you maybe have any visual references, or do you have any author that you are particularly fond of?
Lalinea was one of the main visual references, and in the beginning they were made only by using lines, but that was very problematic because it was very hard to follow. I needed some surfaces of flat color to anchor the viewer's gaze, so that needed to change a little bit. But also I really adore a work of Mihaela Pavlatova and the way she deals with these themes, and her work also had a lot to do with. Actually, this all began as a comic book I made in my third year of studies.
Mm-hmm. Let's just mention Lalina, made by Osvaldo Cavandoli, a very important Italian author, just for the reference. Okay, and my last question is from my side. As Anna noticed very much, also the music of your film reminds of some classical cartoons from the 50s and 60s. Have you left complete freedom to the music composer, or you wanted to have this type of sound design which fits very good with the visual style of your film?
I had the chance to work with one very wonderful man called Miloš Drndarević. Actually, the first things I had in my mind concerning the sound designs weren't music. There were a mixture of sounds that will have some sort of a rhythm. But the second he saw my style, he said that he's hearing Hanna-Barbera cartoons and also Dušan Vukotić movies. That is one of the references I gave him. Surrogate, for example. And he made a mix of different sounds and different songs, and I could choose the ones that I liked. And I don't know how he managed to do that, because he actually managed to take those songs from his library and put it in my film without changing my film, which was almost over at that point. And it was like it was made for my movie. It was I don't know how he did it. I'm still very, very surprised how well it ended up being.
Okay, thank you very much, Miljana, for this depth insight. And we go on. We present Júlia Lerch. Is a Hungarian multimedia artist. She studied media design at the Moholy-Nagy University of Art and Design in Budapest. After receiving her BA diploma in 2016, she continued her studies at the master program of media design at the same university, and Nitz is her graduation film. Was this bio correct, Júlia?
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder because I don't know the dates. So thanks.
Okay, to illustrate the phenomenon of your psychological needs, you decided not to use human bodies or anthropomorphic shapes, but amorphous shapes that are changing in their own material. How much have you thought about this way of representation before starting the film? Which is made in 3D computer.
Yeah. The idea was the first, and the platform, I was not sure that it will be a movie or a film. I thought it will be a zine or a short comic or something, but then I realized that maybe a moving picture can be more expressive in this topic, because it's the 3D is really far from the human nature. So I wanted to make it together. Like it's impossible in the digital world to manage your human needs. I don't know.
By the way, which program you used? What is it? It's which 3D program?
It was Cinema 4D and Houdini, and I had two amazing 3D artists because I can't do any 3D. I know just the really basic things, so it was really hard to directing this because I had ideas and I wanted to do big things, and then I realized that okay, it would be 2 years to finish it, so I learned a lot.
With this answer, you killed my last question, by the way, so I have to invent another one, because I thought you yourself, you are a very good 3D animation, computer animation artist, which is not so obvious for female animation directors. So the stereotype confirms.
I'm still learning 3D.
Okay.
But the visuals in your film are really very strong. They are very polished and shiny. The color scheme is very beautiful, and there are these really amazing textures. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about how you created all these different elements and textures. Did you have any visual references? Maybe this is a bit far-fetched, but some elements of the film reminded me of David Hockney.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't know, but yeah, maybe. The main references were, I was like a crazy person. When I went to work, I get off the bus because I saw a construction and I really like the techniques, how it moves. Like, I don't know the name, the construction of the buildings. So I was taking pictures and videos to, I don't know, to draw it and make it in another way in 3D. So the main references was the constructions and factories. But yeah.
The film is made in 3D, but also, and you said that it's very unhuman and artificial, and also the sounds are similar. They are very computer related. So maybe you could tell us a bit about creating the soundscape for the film.
Yeah, it was really important for the first time, the music, because I don't use human voice. So it was really important to make it together, only the music, the sound, and the picture. And I have a really good friend, a great musician called David Konshitsky, and he knows me from years ago, and he knew about my thoughts and ideas before I gave it to him, like the storyboard or something. So he really understood what it fits to the film, because he know me and he likes my idea. So it was, I don't know, came together like for the first time from before the animatic. He did versions of the sounds. So yeah, it was making together. Not the last time. It was like couples.
Mhm. Okay, well, actually, you were mentioning yourself now that we know that you were not the 3D artist, but you
Yeah.
were mentioning zines and comics. I think it's like in Hungary right now, there is a vivid underground comic scene going on, I would say. There is a lot of young, especially female artists doing zines and comics, right?
Yeah.
And you're
Like
part of it?
Yeah. Me and my friends organize a zine fest called Ukmukfuk, and actually we went to Ljubljana with Ukmukfuk.
You were at Kino Šiška, right? With
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
2 or 3 years ago. It was so fun.
Yeah, but Júlia, you are done with the school now. You are out of school.
Yeah.
So you are joining all this bunch of very talented and important Hungarian female animators like Reka Bucci, like Luca Tot, like Nadia Andrašev, that after finishing school and being in the world top of talents, they cannot get funding back at home in Hungary. So what is the future for you? Do you will stay in animation or you will move in other directions?
I don't really know, because most of the time I have ideas, but I'm not sure of the platform. Like right now I have, I don't know, 10 different topics in my head, but I don't know what's the best for the topic. Maybe it would be an installation, maybe it would be a film, or I don't know, a photography, I don't know. But yeah, I have some ideas to make more films.
And you will stay in Hungary and fight.
Sorry?
You will stay in Hungary and fight.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Júlia, for your answers. And last but not least, with us, Luna Rosato. Luna Rosato, born in Argentina in 1991 from Italian parents. After studying scenography in Buenos Aires, she moved to Italy and attended the Academy of Fine Arts in Turin. She expresses mainly through drawing and painting. This is her first animated film.
Yes. Hi.
Everything correct? Hello.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Can you, Luna, first talk a little bit about your school, because is it not so much known for animated films as, for example, the CSC in Torino or the school in Urbino in Italy?
Yes, of course. No, my school, it's a super traditional Italian school where you have sculpture and painting and printmaking, and it's not even that possible as it is in many of art school in Europe, like to cross the disciplines. If you make painting, it's very difficult to go into, I don't know, a sculpture course. So yes, it was kind of an atypical my work, because I was studying painting and my project thesis was an animation. But well, it's one of the things you can do when the school is on one hand like so structured, but on the other hand quite unorganized, but that gives you a lot of freedom too. So yes, there is no animation department, for example, but I found this really great and passionate professor who followed me and give me the idea. He said, "Oh, he saw my drawings and he said, "Oh, why don't you make an animation?" And I said, "I don't know how to make that." No, it's very simple. Look, and that's how I ended up doing it. Yes.
Okay, your film is made in the best tradition of the so-called pictorial Italian animation made by authors like Ursula Ferrara, Roberto Catani, Simone Massi, Gianluigi Toccafondo, or Virginia Mori, just to mention few. Are you inspired by their work?
Yes, absolutely. For me, it was like a huge revelation as was in this kind of education. I knew like the painters I like, but I didn't knew any of this Italian great reality, right? And when I met this professor who was like my mentor through the whole thesis, I told him I didn't make animation because I didn't know how to work in digital. So he named me some of the names you just made, and who is people who work like analogic with painting. And I fell in love with Ursula Ferrara a lot, and Gianluigi Toccafondo too. So yes, they were very important in my work, very inspirational.
Okay, good to know. As your synopsis say about your film, it's an artwork made of intuitions, started without script or storyboard, that took its shape in the course of work, almost by itself. But still, I'm interested to understand if you had some dramaturgy built or some references point that you used, or you finished the film in the editing room, if there was any editing at all.
No, I didn't have anything. And no, there was no editing. I mean, yes, some little scenes, maybe, I wanted to repeat some photographs like in the walking or things like that, but I had no idea. But I work like that. Also when I draw, when I paint, I don't do many, like sketch, the preparatorial sketch. I just go. And I don't know, I let myself guide by intuition, by my unconsciousness.
Good.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering about the title of your film, About 8 Kilos. Is this like the amount of paper you used for this animation, or does it have any other meaning?
Yes, it's the amount of paper, because my thesis was finishing. I had to close it, and I didn't have any idea of the title. So at first I measured it, and I got a centimeters, but I don't know, it didn't sound so well. So then I weighed the paper, and yes, it's about 8 kilos. But I like its ambiguity, because it can also be the weight of any of the animals or the beings you see.
I also really like that you used waste paper. It's really beautiful when you're watching the animation. You can see these transparent backgrounds, the chapters of books or note sheets. So was this intentional, or what was the reason behind this decision?
Kind of. I mean, yes, I think the first photograms I made it with painted paper, because I maybe didn't have any paper at home. But then I liked it. I wanted like to use recycled paper for environmental things, and also in my general poetics, I often use like material that it's recycled in any way, and I think it adds up. It's even more beautiful. It gives more sense to the thing you're making, and so yes.
Okay, Luna, what's next for you? Will you stay with animation? Did you enjoy it so much working for this first film that you will continue, hopefully?
Yes, I would love to make another one. Right now, I'm finishing my master in printmaking. I do a lot of different techniques, but yes, I would love to do another one. It's very time consuming because I do all by hand, but I would love to. Yes.
Maybe the problem in Italy is that there are not so many producers, but there are some. So maybe I can help you to find a proper person to work with, because it's very important after school to find somebody that understands the artistic way of doing animation, and it's not there only for the money. And
yes, I would love that. Please give me some names.
Thank you, Luna. We have Matias from our Regia. He showed us some questions from a follower, and actually we have a question. But it's a question for me from Bawana via Vikas Viparti, I guess from India, and she's asking, or he, she probably, you mentioned the stereotype of the lack of female animators doing 3D animation. What, in your opinion, is the main cause of this? So this question, maybe I ask to all of you, if anybody can explain, especially the female directors, or Júlia, why girls are not doing so much 3D animation? Is it do you like to get your hands dirty mostly, or it's too much of a, I don't know, like boring to learn those computer programs? Who can explain?
I don't know. Maybe the reason is that it's really hard to learn it, but I don't think it's for female to learn it. So I don't know why, but yeah, I'm still learning, and it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure.
Okay, Elisaveta, at the Swift, is there anybody doing 3D computer animation?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's true that for girls, I mean, it's more males in the 3D department, as to say. But I think, like, as for me, because I would really like to learn 3D, and I'm learning 3D, and I had some chance with doing that. I really enjoyed that. But making some projects, even in real life, that are including this kind of, like, that you have to measure it in, like, in 3D basically, but in real time 3D or something. I see that I can struggle. I mean, it's easier for me to just go naturally in, like, and like to think of the ideas and things on the way, but 3D needs some cold mind and just planning it out before seeing it. So you don't see it all together. You have to, like, just wait for it to happen, and, like, to take multiple steps to have it done. And I mean, I would really love to proceed in there, and I am doing that, but I can see that probably it's just that it's doing something with the predispositions or something, like, so different people like doing things different ways.
Yes.
So yeah.
Actually, with Anna, while choosing the films each year, we are really surprised how many students are choosing analog techniques, and especially girls, I would say. And this is something that I think is really important. Not to say that 2D, 3D is not important. Actually, it's the majority of the films are made in those techniques, and actually there is a lot happening with 2D mixing with 3D nowadays, a lot of interesting things. But it's great to see analog techniques. It's great to feel, your hands in the work, and actually it's like, this is, I think it's the future for animation as well, like going back and never forget about pioneers and
yeah, sure.
Techniques.
Yeah, it's
I have another idea about
it's a very different feeling of watching films that are made analog. It's a unique feeling watching those films, especially on big screen. So I'm really sad that this year we can't be in the cinema, but I hope the cinemas will be back soon.
Yes. Okay, so I think it was, anybody has something very, very important to say that maybe forgot, or has like a great final word to close this session?
I just wanted to add about 3D that girls are actually using it. Like, I also into Blender subject now, trying to learn, and I think 3D is our future. Yeah, but it's important to like use this hand drawing as well. So I mean, it's two parallels. It should go to run. Yeah.
Okay, thank you to everybody. Thank you for being very eloquent, not to be afraid of like really exposing yourself in that way. Please stay with us with the Animateka until the next week, and all the online content going on until Sunday. We will return soon from the studio live at 8 o'clock, having the second part, talking with the authors from the main competition program at 8 o'clock from the Animateka Studio Live. Thank you very much, guys, and stay healthy and stay strong, and continue your own directions and your own way, and long live animation film.